Hello and welcome to Prepspot. In this video we are going to know about one of the most influential and enduring systems of governance in human history, democracy. Whether you are a student preparing for competitive exams, a history enthusiast, or simply curious about how power flows in modern societies, this session will give you a clear, engaging overview of democracy's meaning, origins, evolution, key principles, varieties, strengths, weaknesses, and its current global landscape. So, grab your notebooks or simply sit back and enjoy. Let's explore what it truly means when we say government by the people. At its heart, democracy derives from two Greek words, demos, meaning the people, and kratos, meaning rule or power. Literally translated, democracy is rule by the people. But this simple etymology masks a rich tapestry of ideas and practices that have evolved over more than 2 millennia. In essence, democracy is a form of government in which supreme power rests either directly in the hands of the citizenry or is exercised through representatives they freely elect. From the ancient assembly floors of Athens to the bustling parliaments of today, democracy's core promise has always been the same. Every person's voice matters, and every individual bears the responsibility of participation. Let's begin by stepping back into the 6th century BCE, when the seeds of democracy first took root in Athens. Pioneering statesmen like Solon introduced legal reforms that broke the stranglehold of the aristocracy, paving the way for ordinary citizens to have a say in judicial and legislative matters. A generation later, around 508 BCE, Cleisthenes, often hailed as the father of Athenian democracy, reorganized the citizenry into new political tribes, diluted the power of entrenched elites, and established institutions where decisions were made collectively. By the time of Pericles in the 5th century BCE, Athens blossomed into a robust experiment in direct democracy. Eligible citizens not only voted on laws but also served by juries and councils. Though participation was limited to adult male citizens, excluding women, slaves, and non-citizens, the Athenian model created the blueprint for future generations to refine and expand. Following the Athenian experiment, democracy's trajectory was neither linear nor inevitable. The Roman Republic, for instance, blended oligarchic, aristocratic, and democratic elements, influencing political thinkers for centuries even as actual citizen participation was limited. Throughout the medieval period, democratic impulses persisted in town councils, ecclesiastical elections, and the gradual emergence of representative bodies like the English Parliament. But it was the Enlightenment, through the writings of John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and later Montesquieu, that rekindled faith in the sovereignty of the people. Concepts such as natural rights, the social contract, and separation of powers laid the ideological groundwork for the modern state. When the 18th and 19th centuries rolled around, we witnessed what scholars call the first wave of democratization, the gradual expansion of suffrage from property-holding men to broader segments of society in the United States and parts of Europe. Then came the second wave after World War II, fueled by decolonization across Asia, Africa, and Latin America, as new nations embraced constitutional frameworks and universal adult suffrage. Finally, the third wave, in the latter half of the 20th century, saw democracy spread into southern Europe following Portugal's Carnation Revolution, and then on to much of Latin America, Asia, and even some parts of Africa. Altogether, these waves transformed democracy from a niche Athenian experiment into a near-global aspiration. But what exactly are the principles and mechanisms that make democracy tick? First and foremost is popular sovereignty, the idea that political authority derives from the will of the people. Equality of opportunity in political participation follows closely. Each vote should carry equal weight, and every citizen should enjoy fundamental civil liberties such as freedom of speech, assembly, religion, and press. Majority rule governs most decisions, yet the rights of minorities must be protected to prevent tyranny of the majority. The rule of law binds both rulers and the ruled under a transparent legal framework, while separation of powers ensures that legislative, executive, and judicial branches can check and balance one another. Finally, free and fair elections must occur at regular intervals, allowing citizens to sanction or reward their representatives through peaceful transitions of power. These principles find expression in various institutional forms. In a direct democracy, citizens vote on laws and policies themselves, as they did in ancient Athens or still do today in Swiss referenda. Representative democracy, by far the most common model, allows citizens to elect lawmakers and executives to serve on their behalf, as in India, the United States, and countless other countries. Within representative systems, parliamentary democracies vest executive authority in a prime minister accountable to the legislature, while presidential systems feature a separately elected head of state. Hybrid forms, such as semi-presidential systems or mixed-member proportional systems, combine elements to balance the strengths of each. Underpinning all these are constitutional democracies, where a written or unwritten constitution protects individual rights and constrains government power, often backed by an independent judiciary. Democracy's advantages are numerous and heartfelt. By placing power in the hands of the citizenry, it fosters accountability. Political leaders know that failure to deliver on promises can cost them their jobs. This accountability often translates into stronger protections for human rights, as free minds and free presses hold power to account. Peaceful transfers of power via elections reduce the likelihood of violent coups, fostering political stability. Economists note that democratic systems encourage transparency and the rule of law, conditions that stimulate economic growth over time. Moreover, democracy's participatory nature builds a sense of civic engagement and social cohesion, since individuals feel a stake in collective outcomes. Yet no system is without imperfections. One common critique is that democratic decision-making can be slow and cumbersome. The need for debate, compromise, and consensus may delay urgent action in times of crisis. Short-term political cycles can encourage leaders to focus on quick wins rather than long-term policies, leading to underinvestment in infrastructure or education. Money and media can distort political discourse. Wealthy interest groups and partisan news outlets sometimes manipulate public opinion, undermining genuine equality of voice. Low voter turnout or political apathy in some democracies raises questions about true representation. And while majority rule is a central tenet, it risks sidelining minority interests when constitutional protections are weak or social divisions run deep. Over the past 2 decades, scholars and think tanks have sought to quantify the health of democracies worldwide. The Economist Intelligence Unit's Democracy Index, for example, evaluates countries across criteria such as electoral process, civil liberties, government functioning, political participation, and political culture. In its most recent report, the index classified only a fraction of nations as full democracies, with many more labeled flawed democracies or hybrid regimes. Freedom House's annual scores similarly track declines in political rights and civil liberties, noting that democratic backsliding has occurred in dozens of countries. While the global number of electoral democracies has grown dramatically since the mid-20th century, their overall quality remains uneven, and many face threats from populism, corruption, and external authoritarian pressures. As we survey democracy's global present, it helps to examine some illustrative cases. South Africa's transition from apartheid to a constitutional democracy in 1994 marked a seismic social and political shift, demonstrating democracy's potential for reconciliation and inclusion when institutions are thoughtfully redesigned. India, the world's largest democracy, conducts elections for hundreds of millions of voters at regular intervals, showcasing the logistical prowess of democratic processes, even as it grapples with challenges like political polarization, identity politics, and disparities in education. In Western Europe and North America, long-established democracies face new tests: social media's echo chambers, declining trust in institutions, and debates over electoral reforms to make systems more representative. So, what lessons can we draw for students and citizens alike? First, democracy is not a once-and-for-all achievement. It's an ongoing experiment that requires vigilance, civic education, and active participation. Staying informed through diverse news sources, critical thinking, and respectful dialogue is essential to hold leaders accountable. Second, protecting democratic institutions means defending minority rights and ensuring that checks and balances remain robust, even when particular policies may seem expedient. Third, electoral systems matter. Discussions about adopting preferential voting, proportional representation, or campaign finance reforms can lead to more accurate reflection of public will and healthier political competition. Finally, democracy thrives when citizens see their own responsibility not merely as voting every few years but as engaging in community service, public debate, and constructive collaboration to advance the common good. Before we wrap up, let's reflect on democracy's enduring normative appeal. At its best, democracy embodies mutual respect. Each person acknowledges that others' voices count, even in disagreement. It balances freedom with responsibility, acknowledging that rights flourish only when individuals act responsibly and consider the welfare of their fellow citizens. It aspires to unity without uniformity, recognizing that diverse viewpoints can coalesce into collective progress. In an era of rapid technological change, globalization, and complex challenges, climate change, pandemics, economic inequality, the democratic ethos of shared decision-making and transparent governance remains as relevant as ever. Answer this question in comments. The correct answer will be given heart and pinned. Lastly, we just want to let you know that we are a newly emerging online platform for competitive exams. Creating educational explainer videos like these requires a lot of effort, money, and time. If you like these videos and want us to excel and create videos in all categories of competitive exams, then you can consider supporting us with a one-time donation through the Ko-fi platform and also by becoming a member through Patreon. This will help us create more such informative educational videos in the competitive exams space. So, one last time, subscribe and share this channel with all your friends who are preparing for competitive exams. And also, follow us on social media platforms. The links are given in the About section of the channel and also in the video description. So, see you in the next video.